Why is PewDiePie so popular? There are only 2 YouTube channels with over 100 million subscribers. One is PewDiePie, an individual YouTuber who wore the crown of the most subscribed YouTube channel for a record-setting 2,017 days, more than double the previous record of 758 days held by Smosh. The other is T-Series, a giant entertainment company with thousands of employees, which was only recently able to turn the tables on PewDiePie and surpass him in subscribers. But in terms of geographic coverage, PewDiePie is definitely a global sensation and beats T-Series in almost every country. According to the search volumes of the 2 channels' names on YouTube, PewDiePie is more popular than T-Series in almost every country of the world except India and Afghanistan. Even in India, where T-Series is an overall winner at the country level, PewDiePie is still able to defeat T-Series in many states. But what makes his popularity even more incredible is that he doesn't have a college degree, and his only prior work experience was selling hot dogs and prints of his Photoshop art for months. He doesn't have fancy equipment, just a video camera, a PC, and a microphone. But he can easily beat large media and entertainment companies whose employees have prestigious degrees, decades of work experience, and can operate state-of-the-art equipment. So where does his popularity come from? The answer from PewDiePie is just one word: personality.
I think YouTube is all about personality. At least that's how I see it. And anyone I watch on YouTube, I watch because I care about their personality. I care about them more than just their content, but also who they are as a person. And that's why I enjoy watching them. And that's why I enjoy YouTube. People will find your video, but they're not going to stay unless they care about you as a person.
His personality has not only attracted over 100 million people to stay with him, but has also helped him achieve unbelievable financial success. The over 3,000 videos he has posted since 2010, which have about 5 million words in them, have earned him $15.5 million in 2018, making him one of the top 10 highest paid YouTubers in the world. If we value his channel as a publicly listed company using the prevailing price-to-earnings ratio of 20, it should be worth around $300 million, or an average of $60 per word. To really understand the fundamental driving forces of his ultimate popularity and financial success, we have used the world's most advanced personality detection technology provided by IBM to infer PewDiePie's intrinsic personality characteristics from his 5 million words and compare his with those of the other highest paid YouTubers inferred from their 40 million words. We will really be able to see in a systematic way what they share in common, what makes them unique, and the ultimate hidden personality recipes that help place them at the top of the YouTuber pyramid. Personality is the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinct character. There are different tests to measure it. The most widely used one is the 5-factor personality test, which breaks personality into 5 factors. They are often referred to by the mnemonic OCEAN, where O stands for openness, C stands for conscientiousness, E for extraversion, A for agreeableness, and N for neuroticism, or the emotional range of an individual. Although the 5 factors have been well studied for decades, using the ways people use words to reveal their social and psychological processes, such as personality, is just a recent breakthrough, thanks to the vast amounts of online text available from social media such as Facebook and Twitter. The basic method is to first extract the words, phrases, topics, or other linguistic features from people's text, then use algorithms to find how these linguistic features are correlated with their social and psychological features obtained through surveys. The found correlation can then be used to infer social or psychological features for other people from their text. For example, a person that frequently uses love you or the heart emoticon less than 3 is probably a female, as females tend to mention more social, and psychological processes. A person that uses party more often is very likely to be an extrovert, while a person that uses manga more often has a good chance of being an introvert. It is not hard to imagine the application is endless and can be extremely powerful. It can even be used to save lives. For example, this technique has been used to analyze the speeches, interviews, and articles from the members of violent groups. It is shown that in the 2 to 6 months prior to their attack, they usually displayed different language patterns that were predictive of later attacks. The personality inference technology used in our analysis below is provided by IBM's Personality Insights, the most cutting-edge one in this area. It breaks each of the 5 personality factors into 6 facets that further characterize an individual according to the factor. For each of the factors and facets, a percentile score can be obtained, which is in the range of 0 to 100% and represents the individual's ranking for that characteristic compared with the general population. Therefore, for PewDiePie, percentile scores can be obtained for each of his videos based on the subtitles from it. We will first look at the average score for each characteristic over his entire YouTube history. First, in terms of openness, the extent to which a person is open to experiencing a variety of activities. PewDiePie scores an above-average 69%. This is mainly a result of his above-average scores in adventurousness, artistic interests, intellect, and liberalism, which means he is eager to experience new things. He enjoys beauty and seeks out creative experiences. He is open to and intrigued by new ideas and loves to explore them. And he prefers to challenge authority and traditional values, as he even made his own version of YouTube's Rewind 2018 to challenge YouTube's official version. His high percentile scores in these facets are also shared by other top 10 highest paid YouTubers, which results in their overall high scores in openness. Jeffree Star stands out from the crowd with a score of over 90% in the overall openness, which is mainly driven by his nearly perfect scores in artistic interests and tendency to challenge authority and traditional values, and the above-average score in emotionality, which is the awareness of one's feelings and how to express them. The second personality factor is conscientiousness, which is a person's tendency to act in an organized or thoughtful way. PewDiePie's 47% in the overall conscientiousness shows that he has an average tendency for the factor. But this is the results of the mixed performance in the underlying facets. Although he has the average scores in dutifulness, orderliness, and self-discipline, he scores high in cautiousness, low in achievement striving, and even lower in self-efficacy, which means that in general, he is content with his level of accomplishment and does not feel the need to set ambitious goals.
It doesn't matter if you don't get a lot of subscribers. I was equally happy when I had a couple hundred subscribers. I thought that was equally fun just to have some people watching them. If you make videos that you enjoy making, other people will enjoy watching them. I really, really strongly believe in that.
But once the goal is set, he will carefully think through all the decisions before making them and has constant self-doubting, and he rarely feels complacent about achieving his goals.
It's really hard to turn off YouTube in your brain. I'm always checking videos, how are they doing? I'm always checking stats, I'm always checking comments, what are people saying, what are people thinking, and it's really hard to turn off.
All his conscientiousness features, especially the latter 3, also apply to the other top YouTubers. It shows that to stay at the top of the game, you don't need to be very good at following the rules, as being a top YouTuber is a 100% creative job and there are no rules to follow. But given the current fierce competition on YouTube, you need to be super realistic in setting your goals, really sensitive to your competition, and always ready to adapt in order to get ahead. Next comes the most well-known of the 5 factors, extraversion, which is a person's tendency to seek stimulation in the company of others. In terms of this, it may surprise you that a person with over 100 million subscribers and broadcasting to the whole world every day is actually an introvert. His score in Extraversion is only 22%, which means that for every 5 people, about 4 of them are more extrovert than PewDiePie. This is mainly driven by his very low level of activity and assertiveness.
I'm not sure, to be honest, if it was. But I hope it was interesting at least. I don't know. Here you go.
Even PewDiePie himself admitted that
I used to be an introvert, but YouTube really helped me open up.
given his current low score in Extraversion, it seems he still has a long way to go. But it doesn't matter at all, as the Extraversion scores of the top 10 YouTubers differ dramatically and can range from as low as DanTDM's 11% to Dude Perfect's 70%. From this, it seems that being an extrovert is not a necessary condition to being a top YouTuber and might even hurt your chance. The huge variations can also be found in the underlying facets, and the general pattern is that Dude Perfect and Jake Paul are usually the most extrovert ones, while the gamers are generally introverts. The fourth factor is agreeableness, which is the tendency to be compassionate and cooperative towards others. PewDiePie's overall agreeableness score is an above-average 65%, which should probably be no surprise to anybody who has watched his videos. According to the underlying facets, this is mainly because he scores high in modesty, cooperation, and morality, which means that he is a modest person and is easy to please, and tries to avoid confrontation unless he thinks that something is against his principles. But he has a low score in trust, meaning that he doesn't trust people easily, which is consistent with his high score in cautiousness. All his above-average scores in agreeableness are generally shared by other top YouTubers, which seem to be a basic requirement to be popular in the YouTube community. The final factor is neuroticism, or emotional range, is the extent to which a person's emotions are sensitive to the individual's environment. You may sometimes find that PewDiePie gets very excited, but his overall score in neuroticism is only 38% and shows that he is a calm person in general. The underlying facets indicate the main reason for this is his low scores in anger and anxiety, which means that he's very good at controlling them when things don't go his way. As for the other top YouTubers, their emotional ranges are usually normal or below average, with Jeffree Star being the widest, and they are all excellent at controlling anger and anxiety. Being a top YouTuber is like going on a roller coaster marathon. It's a mix of endless ups and downs. If you want to achieve anything on your own way, be sure to keep your seatbelt fastened at all times. If you are considering or pursuing a career on YouTube, now you are probably wondering whether one's personality can be modified, and hence you can replicate the personalities of these top YouTubers. If we plot the time series of all these scores, such as for PewDiePie, you can see that they are stable over time, confirming the findings that personality mainly comes from a person's genetics and can hardly be changed. This may sound like bad news, but the good news is that you can always find top YouTubers who have the most similar personality to yours. Their channel genres and how they make videos will put you on the most appropriate racing track, and you will be ready to go, because then you will make videos that you enjoy making and people will enjoy watching them. Thank you for watching this video. Please take time to subscribe if you've enjoyed it and leave comments below to help us improve as we strive to assist you on your road to becoming a hero.